ladies and gentlemen, gods and goddesses. We're here for the final chapter of the evening, and the topic, as you know, on the flyers, is the metaphysics of sex and sensuality. So it's a deep topic. As you all know, the universe would not be without both masculine and feminine energy. For a few of you that was here earlier on, I just showed a little paragraph in the papers of these two lesbians who are now, you know, they're getting this IVF treatment and all this bullshit cloning, what they're doing to be able to have babies now. So two lesbians, you're going to be seeing two mothers with a child, and you know that doesn't go. You know, but this is where your society is moving to. It's the end of the quote-unquote civilization. You know, so these people need to be, they're going to be wiped out because they're going to cause their cancer to themselves. You see, because a man and man, we know, can't bring forth a child, neither can two women. So the dynamics of sexual energy is something that is very, very important and which you should know about. I know a lot of you are thinking, well, sex, I have it all the time, it's no big deal. You know what about it? You're a strong man, big daddy, tongue pun it long, whatever. This brother's about to blow your mind. He's saying it's not about that. It's not about that. Sex is a deep, deep, deep thing. So be prepared. Have your thinking caps on. Like I said earlier, if you vet that chicken burger, you are fucked. McDonald's, KFC, just forget about it. You know? So, without further ado, please give a warm and round welcome for brother Dr. Phil Valentine.
Well, how did everybody absorb as much as they could the last time from Dr. Valani? But she had to be cut short because we lost some time. But we should have everything up and running on time tomorrow. So please, please follow us where we have to go, which will give them their address to where we're going to be. And if you think what I'm going to give you is very important, the cancer rates, the sickness rates, the diseases, the immediate physical ailments that we're going to be all plagued with is going to be something you're going to have to deal with even in your own metaphysical mind. So if you're thinking about just dealing with the metaphysics as I'm teaching it, know too that the other half of the physical that goes with the metaphysical, that is just as important. Because your child doesn't know metaphysics. If you don't know what to do with your child or for your child, what's good is your metaphysics. So I ask that you pay very close attention to the teachings that Dr. Valani had to speak about, because they may be something that you have to deal with more in your left brain, but surely it's for your right brain as well. And with that said, we're going to move forward to a topic that automatically gets people to listen. I can't get them to listen to anything about their health. I can't get them to listen to anything about their spirituality. But as soon as I talk about fucking, everybody gets this. Why? Because essentially, that is the universe. We may call it all kinds of derogatory names. We may have words like sex and coupling and intercourse and all of this. All of this is essentially the expression of the Creator. What we have done to it in our own minds, that's the hell that we've created for ourselves. That's the way that we have taken a gift and turned it into our own cancer, our own pyre. But it wasn't us. Because everywhere you go around the earth and you see dark peoples, we love to have sex. We love children. We had many children, so you know we love to have sex. But when the Caucasoid, and I know you've heard of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, and all of her particular kinds of how the European scientists have been psychoanalyzing black races and giving us the worst end of it because of his own psychosis, his psychasthenia, and projecting what his sickness is upon the rest of the races. So his sickness and his disgust and his lack of attention based on lack of melanin to the sexual nature and the beauty that sexuality is, and the fact that he had lost the color in his skin, which was that particular part of the Bible that spoke about, and they knew they were naked. That became a kind of a psychosis. When the European began to hate his body, we began to hate our bodies as well. So when you had the church and all of that kind of sickness, have our women wearing clothing and covering up in places where it's hot as hell, and Islam coming up to do the same thing to our women, covering them down and making the human body some kind of sinful apparatus that you happen to be walking around in. Well, I have never had any problem. I was raised in the West Indies, stayed naked until I was 7 or 8 or 9 on the beaches, didn't give a damn, bathed naked in water, was buried naked at the age of 7 or 8 years of age, when I was given my head in Obeah at 7. So my body was something that I was free with. I didn't have that until I came here. And I learned Christianity and Islam and all the rest of those, which are not our religions, only bastardized versions thereof our own spirituality. So I had written, or I'd studied many books on sexuality, Tantra, and the one by the Dravidians, what's the name of that one that everybody loves so much of? Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra. And this, I guess, would have been a pornographic book back then. But it wasn't pornographic. It was something that was passed along to kings. They taught the kings, because if a king had 12 wives, he'd be dead in about, what, a year? If he didn't know what to do. Because essentially the secret was to, the strength of the king represented the strength of the nation. If you had a king that was drained of his power, then you had a nation that was drained of its power. So, again, one of the things that they took from us is the fact that the whole universe is polygamist. But don't tell black people that today, because we're so Christianized and we're so independent and we're so advanced that we forgot about the fact that our ancient ancestors had this culture for over 150,000 years. But as soon as the Caucasian comes along and creates some kind of anathema called feminism, boom! I'm independent of my own self and my culture. Forgetting that the reason why the polygamy was part of that was not because men just like to have it and that's it. If that's what we degenerated to, then yes, then that's a sickness in men. But first and foremost, there are more women that are born towards the ending of a consciousness cycle than men. And when there is stress, more women are born. This is a proven scientific research. The fact of the matter is, today, they tell you that they have more men than women, and that's a lie. The reason is, we're most of us in jail, we're dead, going homosexual, going crazy. And men are insane today. I'll give it up. We're out of our minds. And until we get our minds straight, women are going to stay out of their minds. And they'll stay away from us. If we're not ready to die for a cause, women won't follow us. If you're not ready to stand up as a man, what do you expect from a woman? Problem is, we don't know what the identity is anymore. Those identities that were given to us, handed down by ritual, by rites of passage, we don't know who we are anymore. We are, what? Doctors. You say, hello, who are you? Well, my name is so-and-so, and I do this. What do? You do this. You're a human doer now. You ain't a human being anymore, you're a human doer. We define ourselves through what the Caucasian society has told us. This is who you are. So now our women are pursuing careers rather than pursuing families. Pursuing families is out of the question. That comes later. You get your career first. Not realizing that in the ancient of days, your most fertile time between 16 and 25 years of age is when you had your babies. After 24, 25, you could pursue yourself and do whatever you wanted to do in the society. Raise yourself along that line. But what you've done is given back to the planet. You've raised a generation. You were fruitful and you multiplied. And you were given the benefits, the respect, because you were a parent. We don't have that anymore. We could talk about sex because we're going to talk about sex. But what is sex if the brain ain't attached? It's whoredom, prostitution. It's people going fucking crazy. You see what I'm saying? So yes, I'm going to speak about sex, but I'm going to speak about what they did to sex and what you have done to sex and why sex now has become a pyra. Why the ruling class hates sex and makes you want to hate sex. Because they know they can't control the population growth, especially for people of color. People of color make babies like that, but today you don't. Today you're busy looking good. Today you're busy becoming a CEO. Today you're busy chasing a dream. A dream they tell you you should be having from the time you're 7 years of age. Conditioning you, telling you what it is that you necessarily must become in order to feel good about yourself. You don't even know who you are, so you feel good about being something they tell you you should be feeling good about. Okay, so we've now established that. What has happened to us interpersonally as a people? Why is it that some of us right now are listening to me and some of us are just hearing me? Some sisters are already made up their mind. Some brothers want me to get to the point. I'm not going to jump into the point because essentially, unless you understand where the point comes from, what are we doing here except just exercising that other part of your brain that ain't got nothing to do? There are a lot of things I'm going to say here today that are not popular. I've always been in trouble with the feminists, and I celebrate that every day. I have been at war with them since I knew who they represented and what they represented, because I understood the history of it, and in my book, The Wounded Womb, I break them down, ace, deuce, and trey. I showed how that slime oozed its way into the civil rights movement and into your culture. And that after they killed the king and the prince, Martin Luther and Malcolm X, there was no one else to ascend the throne of manhood, and then feminism came in and became the man for your woman. Because feminism began teaching the black woman everything she knows today. Feminism put up your icons for you. First, Whoopi Goldberg. And then, Queen icon, Harpo Marx herself. Oh, don't talk about Oprah. She's all right. Oprah had it hard. Oprah brought herself up by the bootstraps. Oprah's a billionaire and you're hating on her. No. She's the most useless piece of flesh right now broadcast to your mind. She has not given anything to black society except how many things you could buy from white society. Oprah Winfrey is rich because she keeps you happy to be the black woman that you are. Right now, because all laws that you are dealing with are from the black codes of Roman law. So everybody wants to know, well, how can I make my sex better? Well, the first thing you got to do is to remove all of the impediments to the love that must accompany it. And you can't love one another if you don't know what the hell is going on in your life. Really going on in your life. I'm not talking about the job. I'm not talking about your mother-in-law. I ain't talking about the lack of money. I'm talking about the cause of all of that. That's the problem. We are not looking at causes. We look at effects. And we live on effects. So they can tell us anything in the Daily Blues. And you believe it. For instance, you believe that terrorists blew up your train station. Well, you know, I'm being facetious. You believe that on the very day they were supposed to sign legislation to further the Patriot Act in America, that 4 dud bombs go off over here. And these are not coincidences. We are cattle. And cattle-minded people are just breeders. They don't know how to make love. That is why I'm starting it with this, to show you that you're a breeder. You ain't got a damn thing to do with sex or making love. You're just getting tension off, and you just happen to get pregnant in the interim. You don't know what lovemaking is. You don't know what exploring each other's body is. You don't know what a lingam or a dick is. You don't know what a yoni or a pussy is. You only have an idea or a faction in your brain of what you think it is. You have all the colloquials. Of course, we're all adults here. Are any children here? No, I'm not talking about little ones. So I hope you're not offended by words, because these are not my words. They're cracker words. If I had my own language, I'd have another way of communicating to you. But I'm telling you right now, you don't know what lovemaking really is, because you can't even look into the face of the one you love and understand the true spirit of the person you're looking at. And first to take the blame as males. We don't look past that. We're just looking at that beautiful, beautiful black behind that the Most High God in its wisdom decided to give to you all. Thank you, Creator. That's the first thing that we notice. And guess what? That's the first thing you know we notice. Because in all of your dances, you make sure we know that this is where I rule from. My womb rules. Yes, it does. Because from 1 to 7, you shape my mind. But after that, the man comes along and shapes my mind. But there's no man after that. So now you got to do overtime as a woman. See the little things that get in the way of knowing what true love and tantra is? How are you going to put all that aside when you got to come back to that right after the most blissful sex? Then you got to deal with that same crap over and over again. That's because you've made it part of your reality. Now, I'm going to be targeting a lot of the things to the sisters, because right now, this is the time when they've been empowered. Sisters have been given a lot of power, perceptual and actual. And a lot of women hate me for actually saying this. Am I jealous of it? No. I have no threats. I don't feel any threats from my queen, my sister. I fear nothing. The only thing I fear is when my mother calls on the phone and starts blessing me out about forgetting something. Yeah. Okay, I got it. But fear? I don't fear anything. I can't fear anything. What's the sense? Who's gaining by my fear? Who gains by my fear? I don't. That's the one thing that you do that takes away from you. Doesn't give a damn thing back. It takes it all from you. So, as far as me talking, today I'm going to be talking about love, but I'm also going to target the sisters. Why? Because there are things that you all have to start doing. You all have to reclaim your womanhood once more. If you don't reclaim it, then it's over. Brothers, if you don't reclaim your manhood, if you don't start looking for the backside of another man, if you don't stop trying to be a woman, it's over. All right? So with that, we're going to move forward. as far as lovemaking is concerned. The first thing I want to get people to understand is that something has died in us. Morpheus asked, what is real? The human mind, because now you're useless. You've become a human doer for that society. There's no more war mentality, no more war footing, no more sex because we have to create children for our society. It's sex, finish, have the baby, hand it over to somebody else to raise while I pursue my career. This is the new society. And of course, the white woman has always been your teacher. I guess that's the music in the background for me. The white woman has always been your teacher from the time the white man had taught you as a sister and me as a brother to fear him. Willie Lynch and the protocols of Willie Lynch has caused us to become separated from one another. We don't respect the boundaries of man and woman anymore. We expect women to be men, and we expect men to be women. Oh, get to your female side so that you could understand me. Hell no. I don't want to know my female side. My female side sits before me. I am the male side. And to know me is just as complicated as me getting to know you. But today's society expects us to think like the female because she is more pliable in her resolve to adapt, which is her nature to do, so that we could survive. That nature now has been exploited terribly, so that now men, little boys in school, must now learn to sit like little girls and learn like little girls, or else they are regimented into special classes where they are drugged for being boys. Yeah. And you see, the sisters today, and this is a part of it because I'm going to get on the brothers too, but the sisters today are more personally involved in themselves because that's the nature of the woman. If it ain't personal, I ain't dealing with it. Women take things personally. Men deal with things impersonally. That's why you can't talk at times. Men want to solve your problem. You got a problem? Well, let me solve the damn problem. What is it? Do this, do this, do this. What's the problem? No, you don't understand. You don't understand me because you don't think. There you go. You think you know everything. No. You asked me a question. You wanted me to help solve your problems. You came to me, and as the man, my nature just goes to making sure you're all right. What's the problem? Well, I don't know what the problem is. You see, because I need, as a woman, to keep talking until I know what the problem is. And you're listening to find things in my words to solve my problems. And I don't want you to solve my problems right away. I just want you to listen. Is it that easy? Yes. I have stayed on the phone for a half hour with my clients, females, haven't said a word. And then at the end was given all these accolades for what a wonderful person I am. That's the nature. It's a beautiful nature. It teaches language. It teaches our children. This is the interfacing part of the female dynamic. It's the communal dynamic. It is the part that makes me want to come out and start talking. Language is developed because the female just has to talk. She has to keep continuing to talking. Men, we'd rather not say nothing. It's all right to talk. Today, we talk like women. We gossip. All of us gossip. Men used to just be, okay, it's cool to be with you. Yeah, cool? Right. See, too much talking while you're out there in the woods or you're hunting, can't do that. Too much talking keeps you from figuring out problems. As the man, you're supposed to figure the problem out, boom, or else it's life and death. That's it. I ain't got no time for emotions. Do this. But what do you mean? I have to know. Do it. Why? Because our nature is to know the danger. Our nature is to protect you. Our nature is to die for you. But guess what? We don't have our nature anymore. Too busy wondering about the Timberlands we're going to be wearing. And the bling we got around us because we're thinking like females. A man starts worrying about his shoes, work shoes. When his work shoes get scuffed, he throws them away. That's a psychotic man. When work boots get dirty and he don't want to wear them anymore, that's psychotic. Because work boots are supposed to get dirty. When you want to bling and look all pretty, but you ain't doing nothing, you're a pimp. You're not giving anything from society, you're taking it from society. I'm just giving precursors about where we're getting ready to go. The sex part, there's a lot of that in there. But I think that the gender issue is the problem. Men don't know what women want today because essentially women can have anything they want, anytime they want, whenever they want. There's no need for us to problem solve anymore because all you have to do is just hit the internet and go Google. There's nothing to invent anymore. There's nothing for me to use the skills that my hardwired body was made together to make your life comfortable because the Caucasoid, the cracker, has made everything easy through his technologies. And the reason why you don't see my masculine dynamic in action anymore is because the information age is here. The knowledge age is gone. You see, the knowledge age is masculine. The spiritual age is masculine. The feminine age is material. And everybody's saying, well, we're living in a patriarchal society. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. I don't care what the teachers have spoken about. We are in a perverse matriarchy right now. The men front it. But we are in a matriarchal mindset because materialism rules. It's a perverse matriarchy because what we look at as what is valuable is gone. It's a perverse matriarchy when we think that Africa was a maternity or a matriarchy. No, it wasn't. Africa was not a matriarchy because if it was, it would have looked like this. Africa was a paternal society fronted by women. Let me say that again. The reverse is here. You got a matriarchy fronted by homosexual men. And you're watching the dynamics of the hive come into play. Now, your queen. Who's she married to? Prince who? Prince Philip. Now, I want to ask a question here. How in the hell do I marry a queen and still stay a prince? When she could marry a king and become a queen. Let me ask you that question again. If we are not in a matriarchy, how is it that she's still queen and her man is still a prince? Because I don't care how many drones that the queen flies with and screws, she stays the queen and he stays a drone in a matriarchal hive. So you're not in a patriarchy. The feminists are playing you. The Romans are playing you. Because that's what they did whenever the Romans conquered the people. Whenever the Romans conquered the people, they took away the power of the males in the society of the conquered people and resurrected the females to the roles of males. Familiar? We are not under English society. We are under Roman law. It's slowly losing its ability to process the organic. We no longer interface with the real. We no longer breathe the scent of real air, the taste real water, touch real earth, see real clouds, resonate real voices, speak with real words, feel real touch, express and experience real feelings. Because everything that we are experiencing is inside, calculated, synchronized by the matrix. When have you last had an organic feeling? I mean an organic feeling. You can't have sex, make love, and understand tantric sex and tantric science unless you had a real feeling. Because every feeling you have has been mitigated by something you're dealing with in this society. So how could you go to bed with all this shit in your head and expect to really know who you fucking? You see? The Creator always said something to say amen. Truly. Because right after you roll over from one another and you're on the other side of the bed looking up at the ceiling, what are you thinking about? Oh, what I got to do the next day. Where I got to be. Oh, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with her? We don't come together emptied of all the madness. We don't come real. You don't even have a real taste in your mouth because all of the taste in your mouth is full of the filth and crap you eat. So you're not even the organic human. You're a composite of all the drugs and crap that you put into your system. So how do you even know what you really taste like? They got enough underarm deodorants, and the sisters, boy, they got every half a minute through the television, they got something to make you smell better down there. You want to know why? Because you eat so much crap, you're stressed out so much, you live in a toxic environment, so the vagina is going through twice the amount of work. Why? Because your bowels are so blocked up and clogged with filth. The vagina got to take over work from the bowels. That's why you're stinking. And you know what I'm talking about. Lord have mercy, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you can't even stand yourself, girls. You know what I'm talking about. There's nothing real here no more. One of the true real voices just passed away. And I don't know how he got past all that Kentucky Fried Chicken to give the world such a beautiful voice. Luther. The real, brothers and sisters, is gone. Everything real is dying out, including the love. So what we do, we have to first understand what it is. And I know, if I'm not mistaken, that Queen might have gone over some of what we're going to get ready to get over right here, go over right out in the metaphysical realm. But in the cosmic distillation of gender, you go from the unknowable, that which you can't even process your brain, stretch nothing of the imagination, to try to bring it into any circumference, to try to encase the unknowable. Because to try to know something, you have to first embrace it. And there's no way to embrace the unknowable. So you just know that it is, and just let it go at that. But you can understand the unknowable from the consciousness that you have of yourself. And what that consciousness means as you process it, interacting with other life forms every day. And from consciousness, you deal with mind. The mind now seeks validity for itself and becomes the I am. Now the I am, condenses even further into what we know as wave. And tomorrow we get ready to get deep. So I suggest don't eat, because tomorrow between Queen and myself, we're taking you all the way out in the metaphysics. This is just the first stage. from yin and yang, from wave and particle, you get the yang and the yin. From the yang and the yin, you get electric to magnetic. From the electric to magnetic, you get male to female. Male to female, you get man to woman, and husband and wife. And then, from the distillation of gender, you get the prototypical family. Prototypical family, as brother said, is masculine principle, feminine principle. You don't get a masculinized female and a feminized man to forward the work of the Creator. It don't work. Now, how you say a biological action is supposed to define me as a human being. It doesn't define you as a human being, the act. Who you are in the representation of the polarity that maintains harmony and equilibrium, that defines you as a human being. And when you find equilibrium in each other, then the baby that comes out is balanced, ain't crazy. You've heard of the word I am. Nobody knows what I am means, but the word I am essentially is broken down into two aspects already, male and female. It's broken down. When you say I am, that I am. I is always masculine. Me is feminine. Let's just get that straight. The I principle is masculine, which is impersonal. The me is feminine, which is personal. Once you understand that psychology, then you understand what motivates the masculine and feminine behavior that you're dealing with every day. Now, it's masked because we have certain protocols that we're constantly doing. You know, we have to adjust. This is the work protocol. Well, the office protocol. And we're dealing with business here. This is just business. And we're talking back and forth. And we learn the language. We even like to speak like them a little bit. But when you get past all of that nonsense that the cracker gives to you to play with, he plays you back on yourself. Because all of the language, as the language mutates, he puts it into his dictionary. And you mutate it because you put the spirit back into the word. And he knows that. You're a creator. He's just he's a vendor. He's a vendor. There's nothing spiritual ever came out of Europe. You name one goddamn thing that came out of Europe that had anything that's spiritually attached to it. There's not one thing spiritual. And I'm saying that, and I dare, if you know a cracker that could defy me or said it, bring him on. Because the cracker has gotten everything spiritual from out of Africa and people where people's a dark hue are. He doesn't know spirituality because the cracker cannot think abstractly. Abstract thought is beyond him. That's why he's religious. And he got you all thinking the same way. Religion is away from abstract thinking. And the problem is, abstract thinking is masculine. Let me say that again. I don't know if you heard me, because I'm supposed to have heard a big moan. Abstract thinking is masculine. Computer thinking is feminine. That's why you run the computer age. That's why women run the information age. Brothers, men, are supposed to go into their minds and solve problems with their abstract thinking, and through abstract thinking create knowledge. After knowledge has been created, women make information from it. Men are problem solvers. Women take problem, solve a solution, and create society with it. My God, I've solved problems. Let me say something to you. In this age of women's equal opportunity to do pretty much everything she can, do you know that all of the new inventions over the last 35 years of feminism even though women are now enjoying much more power, quote unquote, let me just rephrase that. Even though women have been given certain stations of activity that look like power, do you know that 90% of all of the inventions, new inventions, still coming out with the opportunity over the last 35 years to create, 45 years to create inventions, are still primarily male? Well, see, that's the education. They don't teach us mathematics and nothing like that. Bullshit. Y'all don't want to learn mathematics because it's not who you are. It's not who you are. And I'm saying, well, doesn't mean, just because I'm saying it's not who you are, I'll show you I can do that. Yeah, well, shit, I can wear a skirt. But that don't make me a woman. You can give a woman the same opportunity, and of course you can train her, but guess what? Guess what? When a woman becomes academically inclined and goes to school to get all her PhDs and high in academia, and I have achieved bachelorette this thing back. Watch what they look like. 99% of them got beards. Heavy mustaches. And they get, you want to know why? Because, sisters, you're not supposed to be reading. Oh, hell, nah, I done did it. That's all right, officer. Why not? Because you didn't need to read. You were the carriers of our information. You were the griots. You passed the information of the societies down to the generations. Reason why is because when you start reading, you fuck up your estrogen. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? Overuse of the eyes, focusing in on two-dimensional figures, trying to create three-dimensionality out of it, causes you to use up more and more of your vitamin A, and vitamin A is essential to integrous estrogen. Which is why you see women who are very highly academic got all this growing beard down around them. The voices are kind of low like this. Because that was man. The problem is though, brothers, the Caucasian society being feminized reads from left to right. Which makes it harder for the male to read because our orientation is from right to left. And that's why the Eastern countries still do that. Because they're still patriarchal, quote unquote. And that's what that war is over there. To destroy the last remaining vestiges of matriarchal rule because that's an independent society. Independent societies are ruled by men. Autonomous societies are ruled by men. Understand that if a female is ruling a society or a feminist mindset is ruling a society, it's a hive where the individual is lost. For the collective, we say, well, that's good. It means all of us working together. But you don't grow. Society begins to die. Because no one person can actually come out of the box to move society in any direction that does not serve those who rule the society. And we are here right now towards the end. And 99, I bet you right now we're going to have a female president of the United States within the next 8 years. And then it's over. Because Big Sister is going to take over. Hillary Clinton and the rest of those females in her hive. Oprah being one of them. Because we're going to get to her. We're going to get to her. But I'm saying to you that I am, meaning I am. And the way that I continue is through there. See, that's what the women got on us, brothers. They're taught very early that the womb is where we want to get back to. You come out in 9 months, like they say, and spend the rest of our lives trying to get back in. Right? Isn't that the truth? Trying to find, we lie, steal, hook, crook, just to get back in. Why? Because that is our place of rest. Truly, people don't, and it's another thing that women don't understand. When a man wants to have sex with you, you say, you don't show me you love me. That's the way we show we love you. Sex is the way a man shows he loves his woman. And women say, oh, come on now, that's enough now. I want something else. Show me you love me the way I would want you to show you love. So again, that's where we're going to get ready to go as far as the communication is concerned. We've got to get things out of the way so we can understand what kind of platform we're working on and why it is that there's so many blocks to true love between males and females. The I am is the male and female, the phallus, the womb, the father, the mother, the fecundity, fertility, vitality, incubator, virility, nurturer, active, passive, intuitive, instinctive, instinctive intuition, intent, and brothers, you ain't getting nothing without consent. We bring the intent because we've shown enough our intending. And only when you give us the consent. And that's the beauty of what it is that we're dealing with. But here I am right here, brothers and sisters. Here we are. What do we have? Brothers, let me tell you something about yourself. A lot of the problems we have with ourselves. The problem with us is that we can't see past all of this because this is all the society has given us to survive with. The part of the male that feels comfortable with his masculinity is no longer there because we're constantly threatened by our macho. You think you know it all. You think you're this. Yes, I do. And because you are angry or you got some kind of agenda, excuse me, mother, against your man who left you with this baby, you're going to take everything out on this poor baby. And the boy is raised according to your anger, your frustration, and he don't know who he is, and this is who he becomes. Lazy, brutal, selfish, dependent, insensitive, intimidating, stubborn, lack of responsibility, and above all, tyranny. And we can be good at these things because we can escape away from the fact that we don't have power as males here. I don't give a damn what 50 cents and know how to build him up. He's a nigger. A good nigger. A good house nigger now. They took him off from the plantation, made him a good house nigger. Put clothes on him so that you'd buy the clothes he's wearing. Russell Simmons, good house nigger. P. Diddy, or P. Diddle, another good house nigger. All of them girls. You hear what I said? All of them girls. And all of the people that are now leading your children, all faggots. All of them. But you like them because they're hard and they just say, all they got to do is this. And you think they got a dick. The problem is, this is all we have left ourselves with as men. Brothers, the one thing we have to do right now is to remove ourselves from the mentality that we've been carrying. We have to take an inventory of the way we think, not only about ourselves, but what the rest of the world makes us think we think. That's a problem right now because we never think anything's wrong. I got it. We're never trained. No rites of passage to know that when you come to assume the responsibility of a family, that you know what to do. You learn it from the streets, you learn it from books, you learn it from movies, and then you think you know. But this is what we got left. Here's what we have to go for. No, I'm not going to give you that yet. I'm going to give you the females. Because y'all can't get away. Here's the negative manifestations of the female. Come on, girls, unfold your arms. Don't get like that. Disloyalty. And don't tell me about loyalty. I'm going to tell you what you're loyal to and only. Brothers, listen carefully. Listen carefully, listen carefully. Brothers, if you want to be happy, understand this one salient point. A woman is faithful. A woman is faithful to only one thing. Can anybody tell me what that is? And don't tell me her man, because I ain't even stop.
Herself.
No.
Emotions. Feelings.
Say it loud.
Feelings.
Her own feelings.
Someone said chocolate.
Chocolate. Well, what do you think chocolate does? It gives you feeling. My brothers, I don't care what you do. If you do not get her feelings to remain faithful to you, she's gone. Body's there, she's gone. And she is looking for every distraction that will bring the feelings that she's looking from you to get. A woman is feelings. She's not thinking. So don't try to reason. Listen. And eventually she'll get to the point. She's feeling. She's pissed. Don't try to be logical. She's feeling. She's not articulating to speak. She sounds logical to herself. But to you, it's like, what? What? A woman's feelings will make her abandon you. She is nothing more than her feelings, and she is nothing less than her feelings. And brothers, if you don't know that, you can't have a happy relationship. You cannot make a woman do something by intellectualizing your point to her. You have to say the words that will move her in the deepest part of her. And then you have somebody there at your side. So you must move your woman from her feelings, not from her intellect. If you try it from the intellect, you're lost. Disloyalty, a woman will shift her attention and loyalty in a minute. Because by her nature, she has to become dependent on something to have the sense of security that she needs to feel that she can move forward in her life, to do things in her life. The problem is that we brothers can't give the things all the time that would make the woman feel comfortable and secure. So half the tension has to do with the brother's frustration at not feeling like a man providing the things that she needs, and she not feeling secure enough for herself and her child. And even though she loves him, and even though he loves her, that gnawing feeling, the basic, essential, grounding, foundational, magnetic, electric energy of that energy being the provider and the protector versus the nurturer and the teacher. Those two go into balance. If they go into balance because they are two providing, they feel good about themselves and they're doing the right thing no matter how poor they are, they have a beautiful relationship. But if they do not understand the dynamics of how this society controls you by cranking up your fear, especially in the woman, because you see, the brothers can actually deal with that fear thing. They themselves are wired for fear. Because immediately we can either go to stash, we can go to blows, we can find out what it is, we know what it is, we got a little training, we're ready to protect. But if they screw with your woman, you don't got no defenses. Because if she's unhappy, if she feels bad, she's going to let you know it. If she don't let you know it, you're going to feel it from her. And in your whole house, everything starts crumbling. So a woman will leave and say to you today, and this is the problem with relationships, because there's no man in the house. There's a male in the house, but no man in the house. You think that you're equal to him. Now, I ask the sisters, if you're going to pick a man, aren't you picking him for his intelligence, his ability to lead, his ability to at least try to provide for you? Is that what you're looking for? Yes. Then, when you pick the man that you think you got, you know the one that you get up on the girl. I don't know. What did he say? Well, tell me what he said. Did he say it this way? No, girl, you gotta wait. No. Wait till he says it this way. Listen, brothers, if you think you are not being talked about constantly, you need to walk down the street behind 15 and 16-year-old girls. Just walk behind them. The conversation is about nothing else but boys. They are analyzing every move, every word, every just tick. What did his shoes look like that day? You are being picked apart. You are being analyzed from your head to your toe. Everything about you. She is looking at you. Everything about you. She wants to know everything about you. Because you see, your weaknesses, your weaknesses are her strengths. Because they'll use them against you later. She'll know how to manipulate you. The absolute monarch at manipulation. The CIA learned everything it did from watching women. Know that if you do not understand what motivates the essential core nature of the partner that you're with, you're not going to be happy. Disloyalty, vacillation. That's all right. You see, that's not a negative. These are not negatives. These are survival representation. Same with us. These are survival imperatives turned inward against ourselves. So you have vacillation. Well, vacillation is that so-called, what's that thing they call about to have multitasking abilities? They can do all these different things. That don't work in the workplace because you never get anything done. You'll start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. Nothing gets done. That's why they have to be regimented to one thing and that's it, finish it. Once they get good at doing that, that's what they do. But you have to understand that vacillation and that multitasking is how they raise your child. The ability to be able to know what the baby needs, just like that. To be able to listen on the phone and talk. I'm fascinated when I listen to her on the phone, especially talking to her sister. The conversation is going along. You know, brothers, you want to talk about something, and it's on a point. You want to get to that point and stay on that point until that point is full. You nurse it, you nurture it. Man, you get on a point. I'm talking to a sister, and she asks me a question. Dangerous. Don't think about, brothers, be prepared. It's like watching Walter Payton and you know, what's the boy for the Lions? No, who am I talking to? I'm in London. Okay, in football we have some serious running backs. And these boys can stop on a dime and turn completely around, and what you were taught you were tackling is gone. Puff of smoke. This conversation between females is not about trying to get to a point at times. They want to solve problems immediately, yes. But when they're talking to talk, it's not about a point. It's to talk. It's to socialize. We now are talking to you to get to a point. And we wonder why you jumped off the point in the middle of my sentence. You're on to something else. And very comfortable at it. And I'm standing there, wait a minute, I'm not finished. I was saying something. Watch, listen. That's the way they conversate. That conversation is just there to talk. It's the feeling that they convey. They're conveying feelings, not information, not knowledge. They're conveying feelings. They're expected that when they say something that their girlfriend at the other end is empathetic to what they're saying. And oh yeah, I know. Listen, let me tell you, here's what happened to me. No, yes, but I tell you, the same thing happened to me. And you're wondering, well, okay, we got it. You want to get, okay, what did the molecule, what must you do with the molecule for you to get to this point? And did you do, bam, 2 different forms of communication. And now we're going to try to bring them together? What is that nexus that brings those 2 diverse universes together? That's the secret. We're going to get to that. But we first have to analyze, what is it that causes us to not see the other? These are some of the things that the sisters are doing.